Live.
Alright, hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Hyperion64 and it's a pleasure to start off this marathon with Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Before we actually start, I need your guys' support on which gender my character should be. So there's short character creation coming up. I've had the community decide on like the design, but you can choose between man or woman, and I'll adjust afterwards. So it's just a short preview of what they look like. So no attack helicopters, unfortunately. This game is a bit old. It's from 2012. Alright.
Alright,
So
you can give me a countdown whenever you're ready as well.
yeah, I'll like time is starting after the creation, so alright, let's go with that. So it's actually not that long, just need to adjust that stuff. Okay. Yeah, so there's tons of stuff to adjust, but we wanted to keep it a little simple. Okay, so I'll give a countdown. So we're starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so with that, I'm introducing you to Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. It's an like open world ARPG, and it's pretty good to play both casually and for speedrunning. This is the first marathon to showcase this game. And yeah, so there has been a lot going on with the community becoming more active and starting to get into more of the technical details. But yeah, this is the Warsworn category. This is not usual any %, which beats the game and reaches the credits. Instead, we're doing a faction line any %. I'll explain more about that in a second. So, at the beginning, you're just like in an introduction section, which is called the Well of Souls. And, oh my god.
Right this way.
No, so this is just for fun, like I was giving the community some options to choose, and like the preparation was to get this category started from a fresh file. That's preparation for a glitch I'll explain in a bit. So yeah, these beginning fights, you just want to group the enemies together so that one swing connects to 2 enemies. And a lot of this is a bit like relying on enemy behavior. So here I'm trying to align them, but their movement is RNG, so if I don't get lucky, they won't line up in one line. And yeah, there's a bunch of menuing and conversation mashing going on. That's obviously some sort of optimizations. Yeah, so this is another little strat where you... oh my god, this guy. You can like speed up his walking towards the door trigger by moving away in a specific fashion. Then he'll start chasing after you, and if you cancel the running away and just roll back towards the door, you'll actually like interrupt his following you animation, and then he'll just open the door right away. So this introduction or like beginning section has been optimized quite a lot, but it's super hard to do. Like the ILs, you reset like 15 times before you get a run going, just because of the like really annoying RNG parts. Yeah, so I mean, I've played this game casually quite a bit, and I think it's pretty fun. It has a decent amount of variety. The fighting system is pretty cool. I won't show it to its full potential because this is like highly optimized stuff. But yeah, you'll still see a few strats how to approach things, different enemies and attack behaviors. So I like to play with mouse and keyboard, but controllers feel pretty good with it. So a lot of people prefer that even on PC.
I'll see you on the outside, if fate wills it.
Okay. Yeah, this game is quite popular, but it didn't sell well early on, which was pretty bad for the game distributor. So I've had stealth sections, but they won't appear much later on. There's one coming up now, and that's pretty much it. There are other categories which showcase that more. So this one is just the Warsworn faction questline. So that's like an ancient order of legendary fighters, and their ancient arch enemies are the Niskaru, and I'll explain that a little more later. So this is the most precise trick we have in the game coming up. Oh my god, I got it. Nice. This skips the introduction cutscene of this troll fight, and it's, I think, frame perfect. Alright. That was a perfect fight. Nice. And we're getting a 510 Aleister Tower. That's good. So here I'm setting up another glitch. So after the enemy aggro is cooling down, you can fast travel. And what I did was I didn't cross the line for finishing the first quest, which you usually have to do because you can't fast travel to this location. But you can either walk to a very, very precise spot and then discover the location, or you can do what I'm doing. By the way, there's this guy to the right here, and he's supposed to talk to you and introduce you to another core mechanic. But since we haven't finished the first quest, he's not expecting us to be here, so he doesn't trigger his other quest stuff. So that's part of the main quest, but we don't need to do that technically. And yeah, I'll be explaining quite a few things, but I can't go in depth into everything, so I'll just try to scratch the surface. But if you want to know anything in particular, just let me know. I'm reading chat as much as... yeah, should be doable. Thank you. This category has a few sections which are depending on enemy spawns, and sometimes they just don't want to cooperate. But it's very marathon safe in the way that you won't lose ages, and it's not as unforgiving as some of the other categories where the enemies literally destroy you even on the lowest difficulty. Okay. Oh my god. This early section, there's basically 3 parts. One is the beginning part where you escape the Well of Souls. Then there's a bit of preparation, which is what I'm doing right now. And then there will be the actual quests. So it's starting out a bit slow, but it'll pick up a lot of pace, and then it'll be super interesting to watch as well. So I'm just using this time I have right now to cover some of the basics and explain what's going on. Okay, so I was able to skip that first quest trigger, and that serves a multitude of purposes. One is, I don't have to do this fight where Agarth is showing you how to use the OP Reckoning mode with super bad equipment, so I can delay that. And I'm also postponing the first quest reward, which is a free level up. And when you're leaving that tower, it's just 200-ish XP. But that isn't really much. So what I'll do is, I'll collect it later, because it's always a free level up, and the higher your level gets, the more XP is required to level up. Yeah, so some of these glitches, most of them are rather recent. There has been quite a bit of activity at the beginning of this year, and it has been carried over. So we've started like with new category routings, and this is just a discovery fast travel, which means you discover a location and then fast travel right away to save a bit of movement, but in this case it's also advancing the in-game clock a little, which we'll use later to like make an enemy spawn in a more convenient spot. Yeah, so one thing is, like, if I were to actually kill enemies now, I wouldn't gain any fate for things as a reward. So I'm like, my character doesn't have all of its potential unlocked just because I skipped that first part. Yo, Goliath, thanks for the good luck. Yeah, so Goliath in the chat is actually the one who discovered this Fateless glitch, which is what I am right now. So I can neither go into Reckoning mode, nor can I choose my destiny, and because it's locked to the Fateless one destiny, that's where it got its name from. And yeah, we have had quite a bit of fun optimizing not only this category, but also others. And there has been new skips, but like what you can see at the beginning is mostly trying to minimize distances for walking. And like, I guess there's also like some other things where we're trying to just go super fast. Efficient menuing is pretty hard to do in this game. Yeah, so this is the first big region in the game called Delentarth. Okay, so this enemy can do a double attack sometimes, and I wasn't listening to the audio cue. So now I left the forest-like area to go into the open world with more like rock formations and stones and what have you. And here we'll return later. This is just for preparation. And if you've seen enemies before, they all had yellow names. In this case, they'll actually all have red names. And that has to do with the like enemy level scaling. So here I just did a jail warp, so I got caught in jail and sent there. It loses a tiny bit of experience, but it saves us a lot of traveling, so it's used in a few occasions, but only once in this category. Yeah, so this game has a scaling mechanic, so if you enter a new area, the enemies and loot and everything scales according to your level, but only within a certain range. So if you're outside that range, it'll just be set to the minimum if you're below the range, or to the maximum if you're above the range. I'm currently level 2, yeah. And this area has a level range from 8 to 22. So I'm 6 levels below the area minimum. So the area is just set to level 8. And if enemies are 4 levels higher or more than you, they will be set as red names. And this is quite awkward, because they get a ton of damage reduction from that. Meaning, not only have they more HP and damage output because they're higher level, but also you deal almost no damage to them. So it's very bad to fight against them. And they can also wreck you pretty hard. So you want to avoid fighting like that. Which is why we're like running around, and I'm I'm also collecting some of these lore stones. And this enemy is very good at chasing us, so I'm trying to get him stuck on one of the collision on the side. Okay, he just ran after someone else, I don't know. Either way, so I'm trying to get some experience at first to level up, and then I'll be suited to fight the enemies I'm encountering in a more efficient way. So, to avoid red named enemies. And this is also giving me like all of the locations for later, so I can fast travel to them immediately without having to run in between. Oh, well, I mean, mounts would make this pretty epic. I guess, like, the fast travel is only, like, you explore everything in a somewhat slow pace at the beginning. You can also enjoy, like, the beautiful design and everything. But yeah, it's, like, I think it's okay. Like, you only have to do that once. Yeah, I'm glad to showcase this off. I hope the run will go well. So this is super scary because these mages have pretty strong attacks. Oh my god. So yeah, that was very close to not getting hit at all, but I got hit and now I'm down to half HP. If he had used another attack, that could have killed me if all three of those had connected. But I have potions, so I can still, like, bypass that. Wait, give me 1 second. Okay. Dang, I thought I actually didn't click on it properly. The menuing is a bit finicky. So yeah, I'll actually just do a quick save here. Okay, this is like worst case. Dodging these projectiles is super hard. And again, like if 2 of those would have hit, I would have been dead anyway. So it's like this is probably the most nerve-wracking part, especially if you're new to the game. This can be quite bad. Sorry if I got you guys worried. Yeah, I mean, there are like NPCs to fill it up, but I guess it has a bit of an MMO style to it. So if no one else is around, it does feel empty. And yeah, like the forest had a lot of stuff in the way in terms of collision. And I mean, there are plenty of enemy spawns, like depending on where you go. But it still feels a bit empty, so yeah, I agree on that. Yeah, so this game like has quite a bit of optimizations going on, and I mean the early section is kind of boring, but if you like try to optimize it, it's getting quite challenging for the runners. And I guess it's also nice to have a bit of a chill section because there's basically no downtime. This game doesn't really have any cutscenes. Here's another discovery fast travel we're doing. So yeah, now we're set up. I just want to hit level 4 now, and then I'll start my like crafting section. So this game has quite a bit of crafting going on. You can create gems and socket those into special items. You can use blacksmithing to create items on your own. You can use potions to boost your damage output and give you more health and lots of other stuff. So there's quite a bit going on in that aspect. And yeah, so this is the third big area on the Western continent, which is available right from the beginning. And this is where this quest section will end. So I'm almost done with the discovery part now. And yeah, so the quest reward I skipped earlier is actually not a set amount of experience like pretty much every other quest, but it just says level the player up by 1. So it just gives you the remaining experience to hit the next level up. And the way this is routed is that you have the perfect amount of experience to just hit the level up to 4. So I'll be at 6 out of 3,500 experience. And then I'll get the free level up, which is pretty significant in terms of the experience boost. And then we'll be good to go. And then I'll also have like the crafted, oh gosh, rogues have pretty bad homing projectiles. And he still hit me. So if they're up close, they're impossible to dodge unless you get a pretty precise roll frame where the homing screws up and they aim like 50 meters above you, I don't know, or yards, whatever you're from. And yeah, so now things will get more interesting. The menuing is pretty hard in the upcoming section, so I'll just try to play it extra safe and not screw up there. And I'm not playing on full settings for the sake of smooth streaming while like playing on the same PC. But yeah, it's like I could probably boost it a little more.
Like the wind or the lightning or the dawn. With his presence,
Some textures feature amazing detail, and they put quite a bit of effort into making the world look nice. And there's also a rich variety in designs as well. So this is Ironfast Keep I'm discovering on this side. And it's the 3rd stronghold of the Warsworn faction. And I guess I'll catch up with lore after this preparation section.
My father's got a cough.
Yeah, this game is pretty cool. I'm glad a lot of people still enjoy it and have fun with it. So this is our only level up for the whole quest, which is kind of surprising because people usually level up more. So I bought a longsword here, which we'll use in transition for the early section. I got another sword, which has a requirement of level 9. Here I'll actually just make the merchant restock because I need certain parts twice. And if you fast travel away while waiting to sleep, like going to bed stun locks you, not stun locks, it just locks you in place. But in this case I regain movement from like switching locations, which is pretty cool. So there's like a shopping list you have to go through.
good thing.
Alright, so that's it. That was the whole preparation part. Now I just need to equip stuff. So we have the option to go topless, which is something you guys can decide on as well. So now I'm just going to finish up. So I guess you can just choose between going topless or staying like we are at this point. There is a bra underneath, so it's not like I'm making this game 18 plus or whatever just from that. Oh yeah, so they may also release the MMO project, which has been worked on. So now I have all of the damage upgrades. And now all of these will just die in one hit, because they're also super weak enemies, but usually this is supposed to be a bit of a fight. Yeah, so if you guys want to vote, just type in chat whether you want me to go topless or not. Like I can just remove the top of the character at any time. No, I just had to wait for enemy aggro to cool down. Yeah, so this game is quite brutal in the way, like it features pretty rough violence with these finishing animations. So it's a bit like a fatality. Oof. Bad pun.
I'm sorry, but there's no plague shield left.
Ah, don't worry, we'll get to hot places later. So now I started the quest.
The Warden's Bridge. Aye.
Oops.
Farewell, mother.
Another is it.
Alright. So now I started the first quest. And this is supposed to be some sort of clue hunt. So technically you should interact with these clues, look at them, read what they're saying, and then don't know anything either way. But there's a crown trigger which I'm crossing, and then there's a second one to make them run at me, so I don't have to wait for them before I can interact. Now I'm running across and doing the same thing again. So a lot of these quests have unnecessary details which you don't need to do in order to finish them. And it's faster to backtrack from this place instead of waiting for them to catch up with you, because they're all super slow. Oh yeah, so I didn't really explain, like the things I crafted gave me extra damage. And there were 8 damaging components, which gave 10% extra each. So 1.1 to the power of 8 is like 2.14 or something. So this is pretty OP for this early section. So here he is like holding a speech, but also has like on his agenda to talk to me. By running past him, he's actually walking towards me instead of just staying there. I just need to talk to him so he can start running again. And escorting NPCs is horrible in this game. Like, some of them cooperate quite well. I got a pretty decent bear spawn, so I hope I can get past them without fighting. You have to hit certain checkpoints and be in his vicinity, otherwise he won't progress. Which is why I was beelining a little. Alright, thanks Master G. Yeah, so roughly 2.14. So it's like 114% damage increase instead of 80% damage increase if it's stacked additively. And this guy's slow. Okay, so that was the first quest. Yeah, escort missions are a bit weird, and this one is like taking the cake, pretty much. So first of all, I have to talk to him in a specific way, otherwise he will talk to me for ages. Okay, we got it. So this guy will actually staying in this first corridor until he's teleporting to me. And if I don't do the later section fast enough, he'll warp me back to him. So I have to do a ton of backtracking if I screw up a trick later. So he'll just get stuck with these spike traps. If you get close to them, they'll just shoot out of the ground and knock you back, and he'll just run into one of them over and over again. Like he doesn't, he's like in a walking animation right now. And he'll just walk into one over and over again. So you can actually check that on the minimap. Like, he's supposed to follow you, but he's not even remotely there. Okay, so I'll use this enemy aggro to get me past the next door. Oh my god, he's a super fast chaser. Okay, I'll have to kill him here, otherwise I would like open the door beforehand. And yeah, so imagine like if you teleport me back again, I'd have to run here again, which takes like another 20 to 25 seconds. And now he, like, since I'm past the door, he doesn't try to teleport me back. Because the quest advanced past that when he wanted to talk to me. And now he's just teleporting back to me here. And here I only need to deal damage to the right guy, this Archmage, and that will just trigger this cutscene. Watch out behind you! Man, I was still stun locked. So I'm trying to usually kill enemies, but sometimes I can't hit them before they hit me, so in that case I'll just do a parry attack in most cases. The parry attack was strong enough to kill the other enemy. That was pretty hilarious. But yeah, we're trying to evade attacks if we're in this first discovery section. And we're trying to kill enemies quickly during the quests, but we're running past a lot of enemies either way. Okay, so this is our first boss we're encountering. Okay, he had his time of glory. I mean, I have to admit, this is pretty crazy stuff. So, like right now, my equipments are very OP. If you're playing on a higher difficulty, they will deal like a lot more damage and also have a lot more health. So this game has quite a bit more to it if you're playing on higher difficulty settings and you're not going crazy with the crafting stuff. But yeah, some people complain that difficulty is not super high, but we're pretty much a glass cannon, so we can't really tank much with our equipment.
Well, the vault lies there. Good luck. You might need it.
So this is a bit unique to this category, that there will be a short discovery trip sparkled in here. Usually we do one discovery part and then that's it for the whole category. But the XP management works out better if we do this part right now instead of earlier. So yeah, that's the whole reason behind it. And now these enemies aren't red named anymore because we're within 3 levels of their current level, so that's good. We want to hit level 6 now before entering the next quest, but we're overshooting that a tiny bit. That's not due to mismacroing or me not being accurate with my XP preparation. That's actually because we need to hit level 9 for a later quest part. So there's like multiple checkpoints kind of at which we want to have certain levels. But again, that's unique to each category.
The Fae followed his spirit. He linked the natural with the divine and became a nature unto
Oh yeah, this is pretty much enjoyable, both casually and for speedrunning. It really depends on how you play this game. Like, you can rush through the main quest line, or do like a few faction quest lines. This one is the Warsworn faction quest. But there's also tons of side quests, so if you enjoy a few side quests, just go for them, but don't spend like 30 hours trying to do every little quest and whatnot. This may get repetitive if you're not into these sort of things. I mean, some people are also like grinding for loot, but I feel like this is not the type of game where you want to grind for loot for ages. The fighting system is pretty fun in my opinion. So there's a wide variety of spells, both for the mage type of character builds and others. So currently I'm some sort of, well, I guess I invested into all ability trees. And the reason for that is we're using the Wayfarer Destiny here, which gives us +1 to all skills. and more importantly, it's also giving us minus 25% equip requirements. So the unique sword I got earlier has an item requirement of level 9, but with that Destiny we actually lower it to level 6, which is really cool. So we can use it as early as level 6, whereas we shouldn't be able to use it usually. Yeah, so this is the final part. And yeah, to catch up on lore a little, this, like the Warsworn, are like a band of fighters from ages ago, and they had the mission of driving these demons from a different dimension called Niskaru out of the lands, and they actually succeeded. Okay, let's go back here. We don't need to talk to Gwyn here, even though the quest says we have to. So now I'm able, like I'm level 6, and I'm able to equip this epic sword. This is a bit tricky, because I have to manipulate enemies in a specific way. Oh my god, this was the mage. No! Okay, are you kidding me? Okay, let's hope she'll take her time. Oh, this is super scary. So there's a conversation forced now. If I'm not able to leave this dungeon fast enough. Okay, that was really, really close. She'd teleport me all the way back and I'd have to run out all again. So I'm glad that worked out like this. Okay.
That boat fact is, well,
Okay. So yeah, there have been these mages who brought these, like Niskaru, through this dimensional barrier, so to speak. And we're trying to find out who's behind all of this, because we're only, like, killing the low position people, but there's someone behind all of this supposedly, and we try to find out their motives. Also, Gwyn was there and in the prison cell at the same time. It's pretty cool. Yeah, sorry that I'm slaying the lore a little. So yeah, this conversation skip in Warsworn Vault is like pretty huge time saver. I was trying to roll this way. So here I'm buying experience potions to give me a higher experience reward when I'm killing enemies later. That'll help me to get to level 9 more efficiently. But I also bought something called a Flesh Eater, which is pretty much just giving me life leech. And I was talking about red named enemies before, and guess what? This is area level 13, and there's no way to get to level 10 in a reasonable fashion in this category. So what we have to do is we have to fight those under-leveled. Nice, I got the double hit off. So instead okay, this is a rough fight. Okay, so yeah, what happened there was I'm trying to bypass the damage reduction by dealing true damage as life leech, and the shrine I used gave me life leech, and the potion I used also gave me life leech. So that's pretty much what happened there. And we're actually keeping this. Okay, here's a pretty cool trick coming up. I'm using a quick save, quick load to reset this and have control over my character, which I should not be. And I was talking to this girl here, and she... Okay, this is a forced double conversation due to the way we're skipping this. But I'm supposed to interrogate her in the cell and then walk back up to him. But I just got teleported around after talking to her, which is really fun. Yeah, so it really depends on what type of player you are. Some people enjoy that a lot, like completing all of these side quests, talking about like everything, like turning this into a very lively world. And others just try to rush. I mean, I've done both. Okay, so these Balgans are pretty good at chasing, but I think they can still get stuck here. So I'm just trying to lose aggro so I can talk to this guy. Okay, looking good so far. So I invested a bit into persuasion earlier, and that paid off here and in the upcoming room. Otherwise I'd have to demolish him for a bit. It's actually just 2 hits and then just wait for him to trigger. Yeah, so this is the big city of Rathir, and we figured out, like by interrogating her, that she stole the key to make it a copy for someone called Albin Marok, and when we interrogated him, he told us that we'd have to go here, and Matt Harst is behind all of this, but he doesn't know any details, so that's where we are. I'll actually just do a save, like there shouldn't be anything happening here, like this is relatively safe. I just had to do that weird attack to get my reckoning bar filled up. I had a relatively smooth locksmith's lab fight, so that's why I didn't farm more. So here they are level 12, I'm level 7 or 6 actually. Okay, interrupted his attack. Nice. So this was a pretty bad spawn because I didn't get an Iskaru. They give a lot more experience than the other people I've killed here. Oh my god, this camera can screw you up really badly. And yeah, instead of just jumping down and walking down, I'm actually teleporting back here and walking to the quest giver location. There's just like a few little speed ups like that you're doing throughout the run, and that's adding up to quite a bit. But yeah, this category is relatively consistent, so I'll just... Yeah, we're going to chase after Andrew Beeson, who is the actual person behind all of this, and he's trying to summon like some sort of arch nemesis of the Warsworn. And we're trying, like, he just said, the person we killed earlier just said that he went into this island and we don't really know why, so we're trying to figure out why everything's going on.
Why did Beeson come here, I wonder?
Yeah, so some of these are very brutal. You'll see one more throughout the course of this category. But yeah, we're done with the like second big region. So there was Shieldring Keep at the beginning, then we were doing the Helmgard Keep quest missions, and the Ironfast Keep missions will be the final ones. And I could use a bit more experience here.
We should be close to the chapel now.
What did you say? Alright, yeah, it's coming down to this spawn here in the chapel, how well it'll go, or how much I have to farm after that.
The chapel. Look out!
Okay, I'm just getting summoners, no actual Niskaru. That's not ideal, but... Okay, we're quite a bit low on experience, and for some reason she just warps away.
I need a closer look.
So yeah, I didn't get a single Niskaru, and I kind of, like you usually get one or two of those.
Decent thing. I
So we just figured out, or I mean I skipped all of the text, but what was supposed to happen is that we were able to figure out why he was here, to summon some sort of demon lord.
There you are. And that's a...
And yeah, so this Niskaru Overlord is kind of threatening to take down the whole world once he enters this realm. So we have to prevent that by all means. And now we're trying to figure out how the other person who tried to do that before, called Farlang, who was the namesake of the Farlangi, how he prevented that. And now we're digging in the Warsworn lore to figure out how that was prevented. And yeah, that's leading us to Ironfast Keep, which is a bit of a seat of knowledge for the Warsworn, I suppose. And yeah, if you notice me rolling, that's for, like, it's a faster type of movement, but there's a cooldown in the end. So it's not beating rolling. Like if I'm rolling constantly for a straight line, it's slower than running, but towards the end where the cooldown doesn't matter because I have to wait for the door to open, or because I'm talking to someone, for example, then it's always faster to do these rolls.
Yes?
Okay, so this is the second to last quest. And this one has probably the like worst impact of RNG. And there's not really much I can do. I have to adapt to what I'm getting in this case. And yeah, this has ruined quite a bit of attempts for me. But yeah, we're staying way below estimate either way. Oh my god, I didn't use the potion. I thought that would hit anyway. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So, I was supposed to hit level 9 before entering this area, but obviously I didn't, so I can't take on the Kobold. Okay, so I need to lose aggro to open this door. Yeah, okay, there's no way I'm getting that. Okay, so this is what I meant with, like, RNG. If you get a perfect pattern, you can just run past. Actually, this may make up a little. So, Gwyn didn't teleport to me like she would usually do. Actually, I don't know where she is. She hasn't teleported to me yet. She's stuck somewhere. Okay, that's bad. Oof. Okay, so she's usually just teleporting to you and then following you all the way. But for some reason she didn't do that now. And then she's just spawning somewhere and running all the way. Had she teleported to me, this would have been like 20 seconds faster. So yeah, the run was pretty decent up until now, but yeah, that's kind of a harsh time loss. Not much I can do about it though.
You and I are...
Only those foreseen may enter here. Fate bars this.
And yeah, I've been
path,
trying to
none may
optimize
go
this
further.
part quite a bit. And my most recent time save of a handful of frames actually led to me wasting a minute on one of my more recent attempts.
Grenade.
So I'm not doing that anymore.
To the forge, you will know the way. The wisdom is within you.
It made Gwyn get stuck on some collision to the side, and this upcoming door closed before her, and she didn't make it past. And I had to trigger her conversation in another way, and that was horrible. She's slowly catching up to me at least. Close, but she made it past.
Cloud, we will meet at Cloud.
Okay. So from here on, it's mostly execution based. And yeah, so we got this interesting weapon called the Mystic Hammer, which was the ancient relic Eamon used to fight Farlong, this other mage, and Andrew Beeson is trying to imitate his actions. So we have to stop him, and guess what? We'll use the Mystic Hammer as well. We just had to forge it because it was, I don't know, like it was suffering its age a little. And yeah, I wasn't really able to explain all of the other mechanics as we went through, but this is rather a short category. Any percent is quite a bit longer. It's currently around 2 hours. But, okay, we dodged it. We haven't optimized any percent with the new routing abilities. And yeah, there needs to be more testing done before that category can be shown on an optimal execution level. So yeah, we're getting there. So here it's actually faster to not kill those enemies. It's a bit scary because they can actually like almost stun lock you. But yeah, no time to fight them. And this is the final fight of the category.
You now die.
Nice dodge. Oh my god. No. Dude, what are you doing? So this is the final fate shift as well. And I didn't need the experience, but it's fun to mash anyway. Yeah, I mean, this game is pretty epic.
When you whole of the first sworn, don't delay.
There are other categories which are more like reliant on stealth approaches and other things, but here we just go all out and smash everybody. And yeah, we're also trying to like raise our or increase our horizon and look out for other categories. So there have been lots of new categories added, lots of new categories routed. And we are also holding some sort of community challenges, which is like not exactly a random race goal, but it's something new and it requires a bit of like on-the-fly routing and decision making, and it's also surprising and fun every time. So we'll have another one in May. In case anyone wants to pick up the game, you don't need a ton of knowledge to participate in those. Just enjoy the game and have fun. And yeah, there's also a tutorial for this category now. And yeah, time is coming up after this upcoming conversation. I'll actually give a countdown, it's not immediately. It's when this Twist of Fate shows up, so in 2, 1, and time. Sorry, I should have given a bit more of a notice in advance.
No, I'm right here on that timer.
Alright, perfect. So yeah, we sometimes just like do a save and then check like the time played, but that includes character creation, so that's not completely accurate.
Well, RTA is 53:46 on my end.
Alright, that's pretty good. That's within 1 minute of world record, and that happened with that horrible Hall of the First one.
And the best important part, underestimate.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, I didn't have to waste 2 seconds on removing the top either. Thanks, everybody.
Alright, appreciate you showing up that run, Hyperion.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for everyone participating in the rest of the marathon.
I feel like you ran something before in a previous ARPG. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
No, that's actually true. I was running Ocarina of Time Glitchless in 2017.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. And
Yeah.
man, first ARPG. I look back at it, I'm like, wow, that looked atrocious. Like everything in general looked bad, but like the run was super stellar and funny.
Yeah, I mean, I've had...
That was supposed to be a glitchless one, was it not? And then we saw some accidental glitches.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a glitched runner in that game, but yeah, it was cool. And this one is also super fun to do. So I'm not sure if we're like covering the time until the next runner is ready.
No, we're already on this end, but
Okay.
I appreciate talking with you and having you.
Yeah, it was
on
awesome.
ARPG me.
Yeah, so thanks again, shoutouts to the whole community, and thanks to everybody setting this up. All the work and effort you put into this is definitely paying off. We've come a long way from 2017, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Same here, bud.